Okay, here we go. Uh, this is a relatively new style for me anyway. I know there are other people on the forums who play this game who play this way, but this is going to be a Legendary Union Ironman minimal playthrough. In other words, this playthrough is designed to fight the minimum number of enemy troops possible. In other words, you want the largest force you can have before the scaling kicks in. This is tricky because the scaling behaves in some odd ways sometimes, so you have to pay very close attention to when you're working in the army manager and checking the battles to make sure that you're not accidentally giving the enemy more troops. And so I'm going to skip Philippi. As everybody knows, playing Philippi can be very, very difficult, and you're not guaranteed to get the general that you want. And so I've played a Philippi that came out reasonably well for Legendary, and I'm now using that as the basis for everything that I'm playing. So I'm going to load this up, and we will go into the army scaling, and then I'm going to have to do some dances to keep these guys going because they have suboptimal choices. So we'll get to that. I've chosen politics, which is probably just going to stay there, just to get me. And army organization, logistics, and reconnaissance 4. Reconnaissance 4 gives you the number that you need to check your scaling. So I won't be adding any more reconnaissance, but I will be adding training, economy, and medicine, and army organization to make sure that I have enough troops. Okay, so let's do the dance. And you can see my general here is infantry specialization and tactics, which is the set that I like. Oh, I also don't have any supply. I haven't quite figured out why that happened, but whatever. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to add... the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check to see what the next battle is. The next battle, of course, is Distress Call, which is what we're going to be fighting today. Rewards are 54,000, 3,200 men. And you can bring 8 brigades, and you'll see that the enemy has 9,000 men and 24 guns, which is kind of absurd if you think about it. I can add the guys I have now, and that basically makes it 3-to-1. But we'll do better than that. It's one of the reasons that Distress Call is so difficult, is because the scaling, and you'll notice this as we go through different scenarios. There are some scenarios where you can almost get force parity, and there's other scenarios where it's 3 or 4 or even 5-to-1, and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's see what we got in the armory. So we're going to sell these sharps. Cavalry is not a part of this. They're not effective enough for their size. I'm also going to crank back the sound effects here. I do have 3,800 Lorenzes available, which is good. Some Colt Model 1855s, which is actually something I'd like to try, but we'll see if I end up having enough money. Of course, the JF Browns, the Sharps. One of the keys, I think, to playing this way is to have functional sniper units, and so you'll see those definitely as I move up into this. So right now with AO1, I get 4 guys in this brigade, but if I remove any one of these, it'll drop to 3, and I won't get the slot back. So we are going to put a point in economy to make our weapons cheaper. And we're also going to grab these palmettos and these 10-pounders. Taking a risk there, but we need those weapons. So the first thing I'm going to do is create another brigade. Or another division, sorry. And we will go ahead and create our skirmisher brigade. And we'll give these guys Lieutenant Colonel. They will have sharps. And there will be 250 of them. And that is half the money I have available in one shot. Boom. But as you'll see, those guys tend to be worth it. Now what I want to do is I'm going to want to build a unit. And this unit needs to soak up my manpower here. Because what I'd want to do is disband Loomis and Walton. Well, disband Loomis at least. And replace it with stamina. And I want him to keep the same stats, but I want him to be stamina. And so in order to do that, I have to disband him and recreate him. But in order to keep the same stats, basically you have to disband at 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these guys over to Palmettos. And that will free up a fairly large number. And I'm going to go ahead and buy a lieutenant colonel because I don't want to buy anybody lower than that. And 1477. We're not going to spend any money on this. We're not wasting money on the officer. So don't worry too much about that. He'll get a chance later on. So that soaks up 1,400 of them. And I've got another 1,400 palmettos. So what I probably want to do is get these guys up to 500 with veterans, if I can. Yeah, that's 6,000. $8,000. All right, so that leaves me 4,000. And then I want to swap. Oh no, I got one more unit to create? Yeah. Yeah, I should have enough palmettos. We'll buy another lieutenant colonel. 629 men. Okay, that gets my manpower down to 0. Now, I'm going to swap Loomis and Edwards real quick so that I can disband Loomis and recreate him. Comes in with 1 star, change him to stamina. Alright, then I swap him back. Walton's okay. We'll swap Edwards for, I think is it Woods? Yeah, swap Edwards for Woods. Disband Woods. And then recreate him. And in this case, it's okay. I think he's a major. He'll live. He's on the cusp of being promoted, so he gets promoted immediately. But I'm going to give him 10 pounders. Oh, don't quite have enough men. Alright. I think did he have 5 guns? Oh, he had 5 guns, but he was damaged. Yep, I can manage that. We'll go ahead and create him. And then disband Phelps. I think Scales has got to go too. But let's go ahead and replace his men so I don't have that problem. Swap Woods for Scales. Scales has got 1 guy. Can't quite make it, but he's still a 1 star. Okay. Now I can disband these 2 units. Can sell the 6 pounders. Come bump both these guys to 6 guns relatively cheaply, although it costs them an experience, but I'm low on cash, so that's not surprising. I'm going to sell these 1855s, mostly because I can't, I need the money to build out my units, 1700, and I can't use them now, and I won't be able to use them for quite some time, and you don't get a lot of them captured either, plus they're kind of sucky. Alright, so we will then bring these guys up to 1,000 men each. And then we'll take a look at scaling. Now remember, it was 9,024 guns. And the scaling has not changed. 9,024 guns. So far we're okay. And this may be the best we can do. I might as well bring in every man I can. I think, yeah, I've got everybody I can. Let's see. So I'll create this unit, and then we'll go check the battle again. See that? So I added a unit of 1,000 men, and they added 1,000 men. So especially with an inexperienced unit, that basically made things harder rather than easier. So I'll redisband this guy. And then we'll check the battle again. One of the interesting things about scaling is that it goes by the size of your army entirely. And so now I'm 4,700 and 9,000. I've basically cut it to 2 to 1. So the question is can I do anything else? I have 3,720, which is probably ammunition that I want to keep. I could sell all of these Springfields, but I'm not going to, mainly because I believe that I'm going to need them later. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and name our units here. So now the question becomes can I add men here? Can I make these units bigger without losing their 1 star? So I'm going to make this guy 1,085 men. What we'll do is we'll save it. And then we'll try it. See if that triggers the scaling. It did not. Did that trigger the scaling? No. So I added 200 men and nothing happened. So it's somewhere between 200 and 1,000 that I actually run out of troops. What I could do is, instead of doing that, let's see what happens when I add another unit that's smaller. So this time we're going to add an infantry brigade, but we're going to make it only 800 men. Or even better, 500. Let's see what that does. No scaling. What if we make it 800? Okay, so somewhere between 500 and 800 is the scaling mark. In this case, it doesn't cost us anything to disband and recreate this unit, so we'll do that. Let's make it 700. That still triggers the scaling. So it looks like it's about 600 men. No, it's somewhere between 500 and 600. So the question then becomes, is it even worth it to have a brigade of infantry that's 500 men? The answer is maybe not, right? On the other hand, it's better than nothing, and it doesn't trigger the scaling, so it helps me even the odds. Let's try 600. $600 triggered a little bit. So maybe 550? $550 triggers a little bit. 500 it is. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll have 3,700 in supply. We'll leave the Springfields. That's everything we can get. So this is the force I'm going to take into distress call. So I'll save that as Lum Prep distress call. And now you can see when I join up with the battle, we're now 5,216 men and 12 guns to 99.9. So we've cut it to less than 2 to 1. But if I had pushed out just a couple hundred more men, it would have scaled them up to 10,000 and we'd be at 2 to 1 again. So it's all about trying to beat the odds. And here we go. And I think I will replace one of these units with the snipers. And we'll start the battle. And we'll use this bonus skirmisher unit, these guys have sharpest 1855, so they're almost ineffective. We'll of course pull Richards back, pull Woods out, so that these guys can fight. And another technique I've learned about this battle is I move my cavalry up here, and what happens is these units that come in from the flank, they somehow spot this guy up here, although generally he's not spotted. Or I think there's also some cavalry that comes in here. They don't attack him, but they spot him, and so the units that come in this side go this way, and they slowly march up the side of this hill until they come here and they try to get around and flank him. And what that does, of course, is they take forever to do that because moving around back there is a mess, and that breaks up the Confederate attack. So we'll see if I can pull that off. The main job of these skirmishers here is to absorb any cavalry charges or anything like that that show up. One of my major goals in this battle is to avoid the snipers getting run over. It happens very easily. It's happened to me twice when I was running tests on this. The skirmishers are interesting. The AI behavior, they have a tendency to run away when you don't want them to run away, and not to run away when you do want them to run away. So when they're being charged but they're not being targeted, they'll just stand there. If they're targeted, they'll run away. But if they're not targeted, like the enemy's just charging them, moving, running towards them, they will not retreat, and they'll get hit by a 3,000 man brigade and just run over. And there's our first target. Merge these guys, and we'll break out some skirmishers to hold the fort. Nope, not gonna happen. So I gotta fall back to the woods. And of course, you can route these guys to make them faster. Move up Harlan to help out. The route exploit still exists. Yeah, see, they just lost 14 men in one volley, even though they're well outside the range of the enemy unit. Let's get my artillery up here and hitting those guys. The cavalry routed these skirmishers in one shot. I'm going to shift Harlan back to this side. Got to keep an eye on Edwin. Make sure we turn off artillery. You can see the efficiency of the snipers here. They're unspotted, so Law's not moving. He's just taking the fire. They've lost 14, but they've killed 129. And they're just going to keep killing this entire battle. Hi, honey. My cat is standing on the desk next to me. So hopefully I can whittle Law down before anything happens. Yeah, you see that red spot? Yeah, that's the infantry coming for Edwin. I'm actually going to dismount him and move him forward so he has a better view. And now we're starting to hit Law with artillery. But Ransom's going to make a move. Where'd those skirmishers go? They need to get back in place. Yep, here he comes. Of course, the goal here is to hit these guys from the flanks so that they are unable to seize the fort. And now they've routed, so we shift targets to the next unit. Sure this guy doesn't get flanked. As soon as we're able to fire here, we'll run Daniel off. So in general, you don't want to run, but when you're maneuvering and turning, running makes you very, very fast. I don't know why this guy's turned around. Use the routing thing a lot with the snipers. It's the only way to get them moving fast enough to get away in a lot of cases. Whoop! Edward got jumped. So we'll tell these guys to return. Whoop. Daniel ended up over there somehow. Not sure how. Notice what happens with, especially with new skirmishers, you'll see that their condition tends to get wiped out. And you need them to keep firing, so you keep them firing the entire time. But no. See, they tried to kill themselves. They took some damage even as it was, because they were shooting at Law. What happened was they were shooting at Law and they got blocked. I don't know why those guys took so long. This is a nearly suicidal position for Bartow. He's got the skirmishers on his flank. Harlan took a hit there, but that's okay. They managed to get through to the 1-1 Grenadier, but didn't make any progress. And took an enormous amount of damage from canister and gunfire. Snipers took another hit. Bart has been run off. Yep. Notice how these guys are flanked. So they're in the fort, but apparently they were facing this way, so they were flanked by Daniels. Whatever. These guys are almost out of condition, however they have 469 kills. I'm going to shift one of my artillery units to hitting Daniel so he can't just stand there. Get these guys' morale back up. Cavalry's coming in again. And nearly wiped him out. I think if I turn Harlan, might be able to get a shot off at Daniel. Yep. This is a little bit of an exploit, but if the AI doesn't respond to getting shot, what are you going to do? Artillery's running out of ammo, though. Yeah, there, they were able to fire back. Oh, nope, they've decided to charge. And they soaked up about 100 casualties. And got routed doing that. Good job. Snipers are up to 564 kills. And almost out of condition because they've been firing the entire time. They've used up the snipers alone, because I wasn't feeding the artillery, the snipers alone have used up half the supply. Huge damage to Scott's cavalry there. I'm going to mount up Edwin and take a shot at Davidson. That pulled Daniel out of position. The further I can get them to run, the better. And I can circle Edmund around the back. I have no idea why these guys aren't shooting. Bartow's going to take a shot at it. Their cavalry's gonna take another try. Pull these guys back a little bit. Ideally, I'll wipe out Scott in this blast. Came close. I'm gonna get those skirmishers some ammo. These are 6-pounders, by the way, which is why they're so incredibly ineffective. Alright, here's our shot at Whitehead. He's coming in. I'm going to move up to meet him, suck him in. And Whitehead's wiped. With any luck, we'll wipe out Ransom and we'll force him to move more troops up to even see my units. Yeah, those guys are picking up ammo. Looks like Bartow and Daniel are going to make a try. Well, Daniel's falling back now. The sniper's up to 806 kills. This is an ideal sniper battle. They're standing out there in the open, you can hide in the woods. If they advance, they get slaughtered. If they don't advance, they get slaughtered. There's an opportunity there. I'm going to try to get a shot on Davidson if I can. Again. Ransom was finally forced back by the sniper fire. Let's see if we can jerk Daniel around a little bit more. Or Bartow. That'll work. All this charging does is make them tired. Oh, they need to get back in cover. These guys are running? No, they're just faster. Notice that Bartow's about to go anyway. Turn around, turn around. One, two Grenadier turning around the long way. Skirmishers are chewing up Bartow. Although Edwin's about out of ammo. Yep, skirmishers routed Bartow. Evans is shooting these guys up. I gotta get him out of there. See if I can pull these guys in a little further. Oh, I ran back too far. Evans got a charge in. Skirmishers folded because of Bartow. We're okay though. Harlan gave him a good send-off. We're gonna have to bring Edwin around to get ammo. One of his units is shattered. Walker should be gone. Yep, in a minute. I have no idea how these guys are in melee, but okay. I don't know. See, you see how that guy was, how he's blocked? Blocked by who? He's standing in front of Harlan. He can't possibly be blocked. They're blocking each other, basically. See if I can get to him. He's still blocked. Ugh. They got rear flanked because they didn't fall back. Alright, he's got ammo. Bring him back around. This should be it for Bartow. Harlan should push him back. Yep, Bartow shattered. Those guys somehow got flanked out in the middle of the field by the fort. That's okay. Keep working them. Yeah, no idea on that one. My guys are well out of range. Sniper's taking artillery fire. We might be able to destroy... Yep, Daniel just cracked completely. I'm going to move these guys over to the flank so that the snipers don't get surprised. And I'm going to start picking at B. How are we doing ammo-wise? We're good. I'm almost out, though. We should be able to wipe out Scott in this attack. Not quite. They've still got the one spotter unit, Scott. I need to take him out before the snipers can really start to work. But I think I'm going to move him further out to the flank anyway. Yep, this should do it for Scott. This is going to kill him. Oh, come on. It almost killed him. Snipers are spotted. Let's see if we can get our skirmishers up on the flank of Latimer. Actually, I think I'm gonna have these guys fall back. See if Edwin can either take out Scott or at least do some damage. What? Why would you do that? This guy's still running. Okay, we ran Edwin's off. Stop running. Okay. Ow. See, this is flanking fire, right? Should totally cause these guys to rout. Or at least do a lot of morale damage. Nope. They're gonna take point blank canister. There they go. I have no idea why these guys are even moving. Like, you tell them to shoot. He's rear flanked somehow. Magically. Alright, here we go. We'll crack Law first. Harlan's in bad shape. I didn't say melee those guys, I said shoot them. It's not rocket science, fellas. Notice that Law still hasn't broken, despite being completely flanked. He's being shot from behind by Harland, although not very much. Like, yeah, shattered him. No reason for those guys to be in melee. Like, I have no idea how these guys are blocked. Attacking Evans. Midden's wiped out. Yeah, Harlan's back up. He's getting some kills. He's now shooting B from behind. Have the cavalry fall back. Snipers take over for them. Because we need them to go grab whatever supplies are left. Yeah, let's go wide this way. At this point, it's probably not worth continuing. But I want to grab those supplies, so we're going to send Edwin around. Try to nip him off. Ideally, it would be Harland who takes Evans. Or we'll put the snipers on him. I don't think they have any supplies left. But it's worth a look anyway. No, they had some left. So definitely worth it. See that? Trying to commit suicide again. Oh, no, 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 you don't. He's gonna grab him back with his command unit. That's awesome. Go, go, go. That's a fast, smart guy. We'll run him down. I'm surprised those skirmishers are still in one piece, honestly. There goes Evans. Let's see if we can just charge this guy down. He's gonna stick. Probably gonna get stuck right there, yeah. Alright, we're not gonna worry about that. And honestly, it's probably not worth it to finish off B, but I need to get more of Harlan's guys killed. So we'll see if we can't manage that. Okay, general's dead. Whew. Trying to get Harlan into melee with B. Or these skirmishers will work too. If I could get B to surrender, that would be ideal. I won't turn down 1,000 men. He's exhausted, but he's still running. Unbelievable. Maybe I can run those guys into him and get him killed. These guys are still charging. Trying to engage B in melee. Still 30% condition left. This is the absurdity of routing, right? Like, these guys are charging, they're running as hard as they can, they're burning condition. B's unit is burning nothing. 1-1 Grenadier is kicking their butt. But shortly they're going to run out of steam. Run them down into the corner. Edwin's gone. And they're good. Okay, so it was 4496. I'm not quite sure. I thought I had 5200, but whatever. 4496, 236 cavalry, 12 guns. Knocked out 15 guns, killed 6,000 of 7,500 men, killed 572 of 738 cavalry, captured their supplies. Like, as far as distress cult goes, that's as good as it gets. And a lot of it's due to the minimum scaling. You can see that most of my units did pretty well. I think my worst losses, turn off the Confederates, Union. My worst losses were in 1-2 Grenadier. It was 278 guys, so not too shabby. Skirmishers lost a bit. Edwin lost a bit. 2 Grenadier lost 198. Yeah, so not too bad. 2 promotions, Woods and Truex. Captured 331 Palmettos, 106 Lorenzas, 3 12-pounder howitzers, which I'm going to sell, 3,000 in supplies, yay. 210 MJ&G Type 2s, 74 sawed-offs, 105 1841 Mississippis, and then asserted recovery from my own troops. Overall, an excellent battle. So we're going to do what we normally do here, and I'm going to stop streaming, and then I'll flip over to the Army screen to prepare for first bull run. Thanks for watching.